Okay. Right. So in English, we can use it when you require to brainstorm a situation, when you need to make a decision, whether, for example, something like uniforms should be mandatory for teachers. That's the kind of, and we kind of going to write a session or an essay. We want children to brainstorm. We can use this strategy. We come with, in math, we can come up with a hypothetical situation where we want students to come to a decision. In science, to explore this through scientific inquiry. You can use this particular strategy, and I'm going to show you with certain videos and stuff how you can use this strategy. Okay, for teachers, I really need your fastest fingers fast very quickly on the chat for some things that I'm going to ask you. Okay, my first question to you is, what do you know about hand sanitizers? Okay, one by one. Don't answer the second question till I tell you. Yeah. Yes, it's a brainstorming question. Yeah, yes, strategy, problem solving. It contains alcohol. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, it's alcohol based. Very good. It kills virus. Okay, very good. It's a disinfectant. Thank you so much. And if it's kind of lagging and taking time to come, I'm sure one or two answers will overlap. Means to disinfect for microorganisms. Yes. My second question, please answer this. What emotions do you feel when you think about using hand sanitizers? What do you think when you offer a hand sanitizer to a person? What do they feel? What do people feel when you give them hand sanitizer? They feel safe, yes. Some people get frightened, yes, okay. Some people don't like the smell and they feel uncomfortable. Some people, most of the people feel protected when you say, take this hand sanitizer, this is free. Right, germs. Even when corona is gone and we are all living free, we still use sanitizer in certain places. Somebody sneezes and they go, oh, hand sanitize. Even that is still happening. When people get cold, they still use hand sanitizer. So very good. They feel safe. Thank you so much. My next question is, what could be the positive side of using a hand sanitizer? What could be the positive effect or the side? Now, this is a more data-based question. It's safe from keeps you safe, sanitizes the room, not just you. The positive side is, yes, it's small, you can carry everywhere. Very good. Thank you for that wonderful point. We have keeps bacteria away. It's pocket friendly. That's fantastic. So, the positive side of it is that, it's available in small pouches, bottles, whatever. Okay, what could be the negative side of using a hand sanitizer? Because for everything, there is a negative impact as well. So let's look at it from the negative angle. Yeah, you get dry skin, itchy, rashes, and all these things are also possible. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I am so grateful to all those who are like literally typing answers and being so interactive. The participants make a session. It's not the facilitator. The energy that you give me. Thank you so much. Skin infection, inflammable reaction, blah, blah, and cannot be kept in the kitchen. So that's the negative aspect. You need to be so careful. Superb. And actually, this is a topic, which is very, very recent or kind of recent. We've all used it. So I felt it was absolutely relatable. What could be, how could a sanitizer now be used creatively? My next question. How could it be used creatively? How could a sanitizer be used creatively? Can we try to make use of it creatively? Showing alcohol catching fire. So in a science lab, probably by keeping sanitizers a small glass bottle rather than plastic bottles. Yeah, perfect. Very good. Test. Smell can even affect our respiratory. Oh, that's a negative. I request everyone to go on mute, please. All your house chats and all your secrets can be heard, people. Can you go on mute? Okay. So yes. So we can, when it can be reused, the bottles can be reused. Very, very creative. Okay. Then think of, maybe right now you may not be able to think of some creative ways, but yeah, it could be used for experiment of invisible fire, clean ink stains. Absolutely. You use a hand sanitizer, a permanent ink can just you can wipe. If it's there on the board, you by mistake, you've written with a permanent marker and said, oh, it's not the board marker. Use the hand sanitizer and it helps you to, it acts as an eraser. So that's superb, isn't it? So thank you, teachers, once again, to all those who are giving, oh, cleaning a mirror. I didn't know that. I am surely going to try that as well. What's the next thing? We see the use of a hand sanitizer. Is the use of sanitizer useful? And how can it be best implemented? So do you think that using a sanitizer is useful? And if yes, how can it be best implemented? I think we've now, by brainstorming in different ways, yes, we can use it in public places, the most applicable, and it can be implemented if used within limits. So yes, keeping all these parameters, considering the negatives, positives, creativity, we can come to a decision about how and where we want to make use of the sanitizer. All right, teachers, what you've done now is the process of the 6 thinking hats. Just imagine, forget all that you've spoken, all that we've discussed. Just imagine if I ask you, hey, what's the use of sanitizer? Is it good or what? Then the person who's got a good experience say, "Hi, very nice, very nice." And the person who's got rashes will say, "Shit, rubbish. I don't use hand sanitizer. I don't like it." And they will say things like that, very negative. So generally, it is our disposition when someone gives us a problem, our solutions are only one way. We think only in one direction. But that's a natural process of thinking. But if you want to invest time in your classroom to encourage thinking, the process has to be you have to probe children to think in different directions. And it is not difficult. You just follow the 6 thinking hats and bang, you will be able to do it extremely well. So I'm going to show you how you can go about with it. Okay. All right. What you've done is just the same process. I'll play the same slide at the end. Please remind me, and you will realize that you just did the process. Okay. Now you just need to understand what the concept is and use it whichever subject you want to use. For your cooperation, kindly please go on mute. Thank you so much. Okay, where was I? Yeah. So you see, it's the How does this work? Ask your children to put on their thinking hats. Wearing a hat means to choose a particular perspective of thinking. What is your perspective of thinking? That I will tell you by the color of the hats. Now choosing to think and then tell them to choose to think and answer with that particular hat color. Okay. Now you follow this. I'm going to show you this particular video, and maybe that will give you a little idea of what these thinking hats are. Then I will talk to you again, like a recap about what the hats are. Then we'll do another activity that will kind of hit it right into your head and you will be thorough with it. Okay.
In 1985, a Maltese physician called Edward de Bono published a book called 6 Thinking Hats. The book described a powerful technique for looking at decisions from a number of important perspectives. The premise of the method is that the human brain thinks in a number of distinct ways, which can be deliberately challenged. If you look at a problem with the 6 Thinking Hats technique, then you will solve it using all approaches. Your decisions will mix ambition, skill, sensitivity, creativity, and good contingency planning. So, how do you use the tool? You can use 6 thinking hats in meetings or on your own. Each thinking hat is a different style of thinking. Let's have a look at what they each mean. When wearing the white hat, you focus on data. Study the information you have on the subject and see what you can learn from it. When you switch to the red hat, you will look at problems using intuition and emotion, sometimes called gut feeling. Try to think how people will react to your decision emotionally. The black hat has you looking at all the bad points of the decision. This is important as it highlights the weak points in your plan. Switch to positive thinking when wearing the yellow hat. This will help you focus on the benefits of the decision and the value in it. This can be really useful when everything looks gloomy and difficult. The green hat is all about creativity. Let the creative juices flow and develop creative solutions to problems. Finally, the blue hat is about process control. When wearing this hat, you decide which hat is the most suitable for the stage of decision making. For example, if ideas are running dry, you may decide to switch to the green hat. By analysing your decision wearing the 6 different hats we've talked about, you can feel confident about your decision knowing you've considered all points of view.
Intelligence is overrated. Great thinkers are built.
Ma'am, you're not audible. I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Okay, what I want you to do is, you write it down somewhere, make a mental note of it. Okay, we're just talking about what these 6 hats contain. Okay, what do they stand for? So the white hat, the first question I asked you about the sanitizer, what does the sanitizer contain? And you said it has alcohol, it kills germs. So these are the facts, these are the data, which is pure data, and there is no feeling attached to it. Okay, and there's nothing else, it's just ideas or things about it. So just like data, pure data, which is not biased. So when you are telling children to think about certain situation, you only think about the facts and pull out information. What is the information you know about some so and so? So they will come out with all sorts of information. That is white hat thinking. So tell children, let's put on the white hat and start thinking, or tell me, only think about the information or the data that you know about insects. Whatever, for example, they will only tell you information that they know of, the data. Just keep collecting and write that down. Whether they write it down on their books, or you write it on the board, or ask someone else to write it on the board, it's up to you. That's the white hat. And then you move on to the red hat and say, okay, what emotions do you feel, or what do you feel when you think about this situation? Or well, how do you feel about insects? Or how do you think others feel about insects or a particular situation or topics, like should uniform be mandatory for teachers? How do you think? So students will say always we are very happy and say, like, we feel great. Your teachers also should wear uniform, that kind of thing. So it's only asking them to dig into their minds and bring out feelings. Now you see, you have changed the direction of their thought from information to now feelings. How do you feel? So they're now you're directing their thoughts to a different direction. And that's called creating a routine of thinking. Thinking, not just randomly, but now you're directing their thinking. Okay. So with the red hat, they start thinking about what emotions are connected. And we move on to the yellow hat. So, all right. Especially people who are, had a bad experience of a sanitizer, and they tell you, don't use sanitizer, it is not good, use this, use that, etc., etc. Go and wash your hands instead of sanitizer. Such people, because they have got a negative experience, now the yellow hat will make everyone, including those who had a bad experience, to start thinking positively. Okay, so he said, children, now let's wear the yellow hat and think what could be the positive effect of if we make this decision. What is the positive? What's positive about insects? What's positive about this or that? And you keep on, you ask your questions to students. Just hold on 1 minute. Um, yeah. So you talk about the yellow hat. So that helps every child, every person to think positively about a particular situation, even if they don't want to think about it positively. Because now you're telling them, let's wear the yellow hat and think about the positive angle. Then immediately after you finish brainstorming, talk about the black hat. Now that you've made them think so positive about it, play the devil's advocate and say, children, let's think about what could be the negative impact. Do you remember that question I asked you about hand sanitizer? Okay, what were the negative impacts of hand sanitizer? And then you said rashes, itchiness, this, that, everything of that kind. I hope it's not the Wi-Fi. So that's about taking them to think negatively. And of course, let's look at the negative angle as well. Everything cannot be positive, right? We need to have something very practical and concrete. Then you move on to ask children to come up with a green hat. Say, let's now wear the green hat and think, can we use or can there be a creative end to this decision? Can we implement this decision in a creative manner? The decision could be giving teachers, making them wear a uniform mandatorily. How creatively that can be done? So children have PD uniforms, so then we can have maybe teachers can wear only white t-shirt and blue jeans on Fridays or twice a week. You know, giving them some uniform, like just trying to be creative and make a tie compulsory or make a hat compulsory, something like that, making it creative. Coming to your subject, that particular topic, any topic in history, if you want to make a decision for the current scenario, you can use the 6 thinking hats and say, okay, let's see if this decision needs to be implemented, then how creatively can we do it? Then coming back to when children have brainstormed, the blue hat is the most important role. Like it's actually at that moment, it is that moment of your class discussion where you say, children, let's wear the blue hat. And now let's try to think how best we can, or which particular aspect is strong. So in your discussion, you have realized, that in the 6 thinking hats, that the negative impact of whatever you have decided is too strong. Then in your blue hat time, that moment, blue hat thinking discussion time, you can say, all right, let's go by the black hat and say that let's change this decision to something else and do it creatively so that we can see a more positive impact of it. To understand? So something of that you can come to a final decision in your blue hat. The blue hat is like the umbrella or the mother or the father or the general who may that moment where you take all the points together and then come to a firm decision. Now, this strategy can be done with the whole class, like I got you to do. I said, all right, all of you, what do you think about sanitizer? Then you gave me answers. What feelings do you feel? And you gave me answers. So this was thrown to the whole class. This strategy can also be worked with groups of students. And you say, all right, we are going to have 6 groups. You are going to be the white hat, you're going to be the yellow hat, the red hat, this hat, and the blue hat, and the black hat, and the green hat. You give all 6 groups their hat colors and say, only stick to your hat perspective, your hat color. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be the white hat, only write information. What are you supposed to discuss? The red hat. Only talk about what emotions you feel, what feelings do you get about this thing, whether it will work, does not work. What are the feelings basically? Comfortable, you're not comfortable. You have a strong gut feeling that this is going to destroy something about nature. You know, what are your gut feelings basically? That's the kind of each group will only start thinking or discuss in one particular angle. The advantage of this is that when children are told to do something, they will generally think in one direction, but through the 6 thinking hats, you have given them 6 different perspectives to think about. And in the last one, in the blue hat, you are actually asking them to bring a balance between their thoughts so that they come to arrive at a correct decision. Teachers, this 6 thinking hats is not just used in schools, and not just me who have used it in my classroom. It is also used in corporate meetings. It's also used while they want to come arrive at an important decision within the staff meeting. The 6 thinking hats is a very powerful tool. There are very many decision-making tools basically, and the 6 thinking hats is one of them, where you brainstorm with your team and arrive at a particular decision. In the classroom, this can be adapted with our decision-making skills with the students, where you are getting them to think and analyze and critically think about yes, no, why not, those kind of elements. Okay. So yeah, as I told you, you can conduct a discussion between persuasive essay, decide whether or how the protagonist's action will impact others in the story. This is with English. Sometimes you want to write down answers for more than 200 words and writing them in pointers. So suppose you want to write an essay type answer, you can use it for global perspective, conducting staff meeting. Like these are like very few things, but definitely towards the end of it, you will understand some more. Before we move on further, I want you to tell me, just put in the chat. Let me see so far whether you've got, okay? It's like a revision. What does the white hat stand for? White. There's just white. There's nothing black, nothing color. What is just white? Facts, data. Very good. It's just white. What does the yellow hat stand for? Yellow. You understand? Sunlight, positivity. Yes, perfect. Positivity. Yellow, optimistic. Yes, perfect. What does the red, heart. Red stand for? Red hat. The red hat, not heart. Yes, emotions. I'm just connecting it to the red heart and the hat. Feelings and emotions. Perfect. Now green. What does green stand for? Green. Yes, green is being creative. Creativity, out of the box thinking. Creativity. Somebody has made the slide very well by putting out of the box. Yes, that's Rashmi. Yes, creativity. What does the black? Black, how black stands for? Yes, black is negative. Yes, black stands for like, hate, negativity. So you see, and drawbacks. Yes, to find out what drawback. Blue. What does the blue hat stand for? Blue. Blue is like the final, concluding. Yes, the balance. Process control. You heard it right, Miss Sonia. 100 on 100. Process control, you heard in the video, the right word. So the process control, the controlling all the decisions. So sometimes you can even, the teacher could be the process control person. Please go on mute. Thank you so much. All the secrets of your house, we come to know what you're cooking, whom you're giving instructions. So thank you, teachers. Please go on mute and save yourself. All right. So that's how we move on. Now let's move on. Now that you understood what the hats are, what they stand for, what kind of thoughts you need to keep and conduct a workshop, I want to show you how differently this class has put 2 groups and use the 6 thinking hats. Okay, just watch this and then we will do a hands-on activity before we end.
There are 3 ways in which AI is going to change your job forever. AI tools can now write email.
Brainy Dose presents the 6 thinking hats technique for problem solving. Everyone has instincts, with some taking a positive approach to problem solving, while others are more acquainted with a critical standpoint. Both ways of making decisions are useful, but they both also have their downfalls. The 6 thinking hats technique takes points from both of these views. In fact, this technique separates thinking into 6 defined roles. With these roles, you can formulate the best possible solution to any problem. Let's explore this. Brainy Dose presents the 6 Thinking Hats technique for problem solving. Everyone has instincts, with some taking a positive approach to problem solving, while others are more acquainted with a critical standpoint. Both ways of making decisions are useful, but they both also have their downfalls. Brainy Dose presents the 6 Thinking Hats with some standpoints. And foremost, to state the for now coming situations. This hack governs all creative thoughts that could help you alter.
Ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
It's not usual blue. It's not a dark.
You're on mute, ma'am.
Circle.
You're on mute, ma'am.
Patricia, Lucy, please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, sorry, I lost that video. I'm not really sure, but let's keep moving on. I'll take you through this process. I'll share the screen once again. I'll just share the screen. And we'll just move on to what is next. So you see, this is how you can brainstorm on board if you want to create a mind map. These are just images that I have picked from the internet. However, you want to keep brainstorming. But you see, there are many benefits of the 6 thinking hats for effective decision making, giving opens opportunity for creativity with decision making. No one feels judged. So that's a very important element of the 6 thinking hats, where you are allowing every person to speak negative, every person to speak positive, every person to express their emotion. So every child in your class, with whatever learning style and whatever is their intelligence, they are able to express themselves and not feel judged, because everybody is talking the same tone, thinking in the same lines. So nobody judges you and says, hey, you're being so negative. No, everybody is talking negative. That's all right. And I'm saying, you always want to see the positive side. Oh, what do you think? So if anybody brings out a creative idea, somebody might say, how so foolish this is, what a stupid idea. But no, everybody is thinking out of the box. So why don't I? That way, nobody is judged in your classroom, isn't it? So that's the best part of the 6 thinking hats.
Ma'am, can you show the previous slide to this?
Yeah, sure. This one?
Yes, please. Just for just a second.
Not an issue. You get
Thank you. Thank you.
Internet, yeah, and the multiple ones. 6 thinking hats, brainstorming. If you type, you will get. Okay, let's move. And so let's talk about homeschooling. Now that we are all teachers and we understand how important it is to children, for children to come to school, not just because then we have our jobs in that. But yes, let's talk about homeschooling. That's something which is very trending and challenging at the same time. Let's look at it. I want all your fastest fingers first on the, chat. And let's get ready. Let me see where the chat is, first of all. I'm going to figure out. Yeah, I keep my chat open here. Teachers, I want you to tell me. My first question is, first you focus on data. What about homeschooling and how does it work? And what is required to run it? So you need to just provide me data. What is required? What is homeschooling? What's required to run a homeschool? So let's kind of put it there in the chat. There's no hurry. You can do that. Take your time, right? Yeah, you need a parent's consent for a homeschool. Yes, true. Learning at the comfort of your home. That's perfect. Anyone else? Connectivity if it's online. So yes, you think that these are things you require materials at hand. So what's homeschool? What's homeschooling about? Comfort from home, learning from home. Uh, parents should not be the first generation learners. Yes, that's also a mandatory requirement. Mr. Tarang knows a lot about homeschooling. Parents teaching their wards, okay, because they require to, impart some kind of learning, taking responsibility of learning, use of videos, learning, all that. Okay, very good. So this is how it works from home, at home, use of videos, material, etc. Let's move on. Somebody has anything? If I require to ask a question, please raise your hand so that I can see you on the screen. No, if you need to unmute yourself and talk, please raise your hand. There's an emoji for raising hands. Let's move on to the white hat. So white hat, we know that it's all about data. It's about information. What, how, what's required, things like that. And we move on to the next red hat. Our question is, how does the idea of homeschooling make you feel? And how will people feel if homeschooling is made like mandatory? So what do you think? We'll talk about feelings. Your feelings, people's feelings, the feelings in general. What are the emotions connected to homeschool? Caleb. What's happened to Caleb? I think the Zoom is on. Could be why this is on audio. Just give me a second. I'm not fine. I'm not able to. Okay. Asking questions without hesitation, safety, security of the child. Some people may not approve of it. Okay. Safety, you feel safer, comfortable, cordial. All right, all that with homeschooling. Okay, not right now, not talk about that because we're only talking about a feeling. So the feeling could be, so teachers, I'm very happy when you make, you also give me answers which are not appropriate. Huh? What happens is then I can tell you that no, this is not how, this is not, does not fall in or fit into red hat. It is not even falling into any of the hats because that comes into the blue hat. When I say it should not be made mandatory, then it comes into the blue hat where the decision making happens. Okay. So right now we're talking only about the red hat where we're talking about emotions. And so right now you're giving me only words that you're comfortable. Mixed response would be there. But that's as some may think, no, don't even give chalega. Necessary social skills are not developed. Okay. So this will come, we'll consider these social skills are yes or no in yellow and black, where you're talking about positive or negative. Okay. So right now we are only talking about emotions. So we are going not emotions like all emotion words, not comfortable, not safe, or safe and secure, comfortable, whatever. Any emotion you want to express, you are free to talk about what others will feel and what others will not feel. I mean, what you feel or what it is. Okay. They will be more comfortable. The tutor will be able to pay more attention on the individual. That will be in the positive, negative. But right now we're talking about comfort, no comfort, safety, no safety, those type of emotion things like happy. Children will be so happy to learn from home. No headache of getting up in the morning, going to school and changing your clothes and ironing your uniform. Parents are happy. Everybody's happy. So we can talk about happy emotion. Okay. So it's happy. All right. So we just talk about emotions. Now let's come to the when we talk about red hat, yes, relaxed learning atmosphere. So again, that's about emotion, relax. When we talk about the red hat, please remember it's only about emotions. Once you get what this strategy is, only then you can go and implement in your classroom. So right now, I'm able to tell you that no, you have gone straight to the blue hat, come back to the red. Similarly, now it's good if you make mistakes. that you learn it here. Okay, children will miss their friends. That comes in the negative. Black hat. Huh? So you say sad. Just give the red emotion sad. In the red hat, you will just say sad. Don't give me anything else. Yeah, thank you, Anjali. That's sad. Correct. Okay, that way. Now let's move to the next aspect. Black hat. Oh, how do you think? Let's talk about the black hat. All of you start thinking of the negative effects of homeschooling. Come on, no socialization with peers. It's unfriendly. No, yes, it's non-social interaction. Let them keep coming. Let them keep coming. No peer learning. It's bad. Okay, yes, black hat. So you can say anything. Chalega, it's bad. Fear of parents being scolded at times. Time consuming, lack of socialization, no interaction time. Very good. So it's a very good, you all are going perfectly well. Okay, you've got it right. Games period, yeah, they'll miss games, they will miss sports. So, playing with their own classmates, be bonding, all those things will not be there. Very good. Okay, let's keep moving. Yellow hat. Now you tell me the yellow. How does homeschooling benefit? Is there any benefit of homeschooling? Now you give me all the benefits. Like you told me earlier, parental, what's that? Something you said, some nice benefits you spoke in. At your own pace. Yes. Freedom to learn, no need to travel, feel free, connection, comfortable learning, and no transport charge. Oh my God, yes, school buses really charge a bomb. And no spending on uniform, no spending on the school bag, a typical school bag, everything. Some schools even sell stationery and tiffin with their print and with all those things. So no need of buying all that. As per learner's aptitude, no time bound, no pressure, relaxed mode. Fantastic. It's like a wow experience, like yellow hat. When we talk about positivity, there's so much of positivity that's coming around. Yes, this is good. And then the black hat actually tells you be on guard. Yes, Ms. Rupa, we heard everything. Please go on mute. Okay. So the black hat tells you like, hey, alert. There is a negative side to it. There can be consequences if this is not done well. Okay. So very good. Take meals in between. Rakhi, that's a good one. Yellow hat. Kabhi bhi khao, apna hi class hai. It's like that, you just enjoy. That's about yellow hat. And then green hat. How can homeschooling be made interesting? Now, we've seen the negative, we've seen the positive, but for homeschooling to run and become impactful, how can we make it interesting? That's the idea. How can we make it interesting? So yes, one thing actually I think making it interesting would be taking meals in between, giving 2 recesses, but making it more motivating for a student to learn. There could be challenges given by parents, experiences made into learning, like experiential learning at home, some online tools. Sometimes parents even engage students to in sports where they can, learn 3 to 4 kinds of skills along the same time as they are homeschooling. So they learn and they also go for activities or get their teacher coming home to teach them music or something like that. So the parents are also free to engage children into various kinds of activities. So, making more creative, more engaging, holistic development, or engaging an expert to come and teach the child if the parent is not able to. That's also a possibility. So that much of flexibility is given. Holistic development can happen, yes, but how could we make it interesting? All sorts of equal participation, experiential learning, motivating by giving them challenging assignments, extra time for activities. Yes, you tell them if you finish your studies, you get extra time for activities. And so homeschooling happens like that. Okay. And now coming back to the blue hat. Yes, the parent also knows everything about the student. That will come in the yellow hat. Teachers, the yellow hat answer you have given me just now, where the positive side of homeschooling is that the parent knows about the student. Going on field trips is the green hat. How you creatively make it interesting. conducting role play between, yes, some homeschoolers. Very good. Connecting with other homeschoolers and tum aa jao, idhar aa jao, and create a nice environment, learning environment just for a day, and create that in very beautifully. Swati ma'am, very lovely, suggestion for a green hat. Very nice. And just keep the green hat on. A lot of green hat answers are coming in. Very good, very good. Okay, and let's move on now to the blue hat, where we actually have to decide what. Now come back. What's the focus? Now what happens is when we are thinking on all different directions, the blue hat is the teacher who's wearing the blue hat says, okay, all groups come back. Now focus. What did we want in the beginning? What was the thing that we were supposed to decide upon? Remember, we said we are going to start thinking or decide upon so and so stuff. So bringing people back on what is the focus, what is our goal, what were we thinking about, what was the subject? The subject is homeschooling. Yes, how does homeschooling work? Mr. Tarang is still saying not to be made mandatory. It's okay. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. And it's again now given flexibility. People, we do not know what people will come up with. It's, government is given them the flexibility. Yes, Sonia Singh. She says, yeah, only not mandatory, maybe one day in a week. Homeschooling is, I don't know if you've heard of homeschooling. It's not like schooling from home like in Corona time. So I would, in 2020, before the pandemic hit, in the same year, in the month of Jan, I was telling one of my colleagues and saying, I really wish we had schools, that we should have only twice a week school and thrice a week it should be online. I don't know how I said it, and right enough in March, it happened in that way in 2020 that everybody went online. And at that time, my friends called me stupid. They said, what is wrong with you? Can schools be online? You've gone mad or what? But really, after 2 months, when everyone went online, it became like a possibility, right? But this is homeschooling. Homeschooling is different. Homeschooling is where people do prefer all their life children learn at home and follow a certain curriculum, and they have there are certain laws where you connect with a particular school, you go and give your exams in that school, and they kind of generate your results. You go to the next class, so on. So assessment happens in a particular school, depending on what model of homeschooling the parents have taken. Okay, you need to kind of research a little more about homeschooling. It happens more in cities. I do not know about little rural areas, but yeah, it does happen. I know a couple of people whose children have been homeschooled, and they are also homeschooling other children in their own home and having fun. Okay, so yeah. Yes, so homeschooling, what we did during the pandemic was different from what topic we were talking about homeschooling. Okay, so I think sanitizer was easy to relate to. So now I'm coming back to this sanitizer screen. Okay, teachers, tell me very quickly, which hat now do you think is the first question? Which hat? What do you know about sanitizers? Which hat is that?
White hat.
White. Okay, thank you for, please kindly put it in the chat. See, I really love the flow of answers that's coming into the chat. So I think, by the end of this session, you all understood what each hat stands for. Second question, what emotions do you feel when you think about using a sanitizer? Red. Very good. Lovely. What could be the positive side of using a sanitizer? Which color? All right, already ready with the answers. Just typed, I think, and you've probably kept it ready. What could be the negative side of using a sanitizer? Negative side. Oh, yes, black. There you go. Perfect. How could sanitizer be creatively used? Which color is that? Which color hat? Thinking. Green. Very good. The green perspective of creativity. And is the sanitizer is the use of sanitizer useful? How can it be best implemented? That's our main goal to arrive at a decision. So I am so happy that you have all got 100 on 100 and you understood what the hats are all about. Thank you, teachers, for this fantastic energy that you brought in into the session. And I think we